I'm Jamie Shifley, and you're at home with the Dietitian. Before we begin, a quick disclaimer. Please know that these videos are for educational and informational purposes only. If you have a medical condition or have very specific dietary needs, be sure to consult with your doctor or with a dietitian about your own individual needs. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about how to meal plan. And I'm going to show you the methods that I follow in order to follow a meal plan and stick to it. And I am not perfect about it. I'll be honest, this past week we didn't meal plan and things didn't go as well as I would like. So we're getting back on track. We're going to meal plan. And especially in these days, I'm filming this during the coronavirus outbreak that's still going on. We're trying to limit the time that we go to the store. So we're really trying to go about 2 weeks in between big trips to the store. We do run real quick if we absolutely need something, but we try not to. So we're trying to minimize the risk there. So the first step in meal planning is inventory. And it really is important, and I'll be honest, it's not my favorite step. I tend to procrastinate on inventory. But once I get in there and dig in and look in the pantry, look in the fridge, look in the freezer, I realize that there's a lot more food than I thought. And then what I do is I pull that food that I looked at through the inventory and pull it into the meals for the next round. So you waste less food and you save money. So let's go ahead and get started, and we're gonna walk through and I'll show you a quick inventory and how I conduct the inventory. So now we are going to do the inventory. And as I said, I don't love the inventory, but I usually end up finding that we do have a lot more food than I thought in my brain. So I just take a notebook or whatever piece of paper you have, and I start with the fridge and then the pantry, and then we also have some storage in back and another fridge and actually another freezer. That one I tend to that's the more the long-term storage, so I don't necessarily need to go back there right now. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll just get quickly started with the fridge. Okay, so this may look somewhat full, but for us it's starting to get pretty empty. Some of these are leftovers. So what I do is I make notes of leftovers and then fridge and then obviously I'll do dry goods. So and I plan on making a nice little organizer for this. I just haven't gotten there yet. So we'll go through, I'll say, okay, we have this much milk, we have this much yogurt, containers of shredded cheese, and then I will build that into our meals. And then ideally what I'd also do is kind of clean out. So, I clean out as we go because, sometimes things are going bad. Like I see a couple limes in here. So I'd usually pull those out and dump anything that really needs to be thrown out and go from there. Okay, and then same thing with the freezer. So we've got some frozen corn, we've got pizza dough, some frozen butter, somebody's leftover Dairy Queen. Okay, and then we move. Oh, and we've got a couple frozen. This is like a lemon caper onion butter sauce that is amazing. So we want to make sure we get that in. And then we move on to the pantry. So as you see, we've got a lot of dried goods, or a lot of canned goods. So we'll just do, canned, cannellini, and so on and so on. We've got raisins. Now that's almost empty, so, we don't want to count on that. And Tabasco, and as I'm going through this, I'm kind of making mental notes of what else we could make with those. So what other meals we could build from those. So we've got farro, we've got barley, and then we've still got plenty of our cereal. This, I have delivered on a regular subscription on Amazon Prime, so we're good there. So you'll see a lot of the things we'll buy today is more fresh produce and fresh dairy. But I know we're gonna need, and up here I might make a note of what we need. So I know we need regular oatmeal. So we'll, and obviously milk. So there's some things that are just kind of regular needs. All right, and then we're gonna move into the back. Okay, so now we have kind of our long-term dry goods storage part, and the rest of this is our back storage area. So this is all just shelf stable. Our coffee, which is looking a little bit low, so we definitely need some coffee. And then we've got, you know, our big thing of flour, a lot of beans, these dried potatoes that are great when we need some, you know, something in a pinch, coconut milk, tomatoes. We've got the canned chicken, that's great for lunch, you know, put on a pita, beans. So I'm just gonna note all of these, and then we'll add that to the list. All right, and then our final area, again, this is our back fridge, so this tends to take a lot of the overflow from when we do a big shop, so this one's been cleared out, and we pull it to the front fridge as we use up the food. So we've still got a good amount of eggs, you know, those are each 24, so we've got 4 dozen right there. We got a little bit of beer, we keep some of our wine back here, but other than that, a little buttermilk, a little tofu. So we will need more because we are doing more and more tofu meals. We've got one thing of pickles I see. And then in here, oh, we need to open that a little bit. You see we've got some of our freezer meals. This is a soup, and we've got shrimp. We've got some frozen orange juice. We've got so those are the pancakes in there. So we've been going through a lot of these, so not too much in there. So we'll take that into consideration and probably do a freezer meal day soon. All right, now on to planning. Okay, so we've got our nice inventory here, and as you can see, I filled up a page. So we had quite a bit of food. So that helps direct me, and I make a special note of things that are more perishable and that need to be used quicker. We do make a point of not going overboard on perishable food so that we don't waste. So I've got a lot of dried foods or canned goods in here, you know, things like farro and rice, cereal, and then obviously like canned beans. And I've also got a lot of frozen foods, so I won't necessarily need to use all of those this week, but the fresh food, as you saw in our inventory, we want to use that up. So what we do is we have a little notebook, and we actually started this more recently. We used to put the meals in the phone, and you could do that too. So we would just put it in our calendar, and we have a separate calendar called Meal Plan Calendar, and then Patrick and I share that, and then we can both see what meals are in there. But our kids don't all have phones, and while we were home during quarantine, we realized it helps to have them be able to just physically grab a little book. So we just grabbed a notebook that we found that was empty. We created some sheets with the days and the meals, and then I can just go, and as we're meal planning or I'm meal planning, I can just write them down. And we could add them to our phone as well, to have it in another place. When we both worked full time, it was nice when we were in separate places to be able to see what was on the plan for the night. So then what I do is I have my computer, I have several cookbooks, whatever I happen to be kind of using at that time. I do have a few, and I'll do another video on where I get a lot of my recipes. This is my current favorite cookbook. It's got great instructions, awesome recipes. It's an America's Test Kitchen book. I've got one of the Moosewood cookbooks. I've got a book from the library, and that's another way I get recipes. I just get books from the library. And then what I'll do is kind of flip through, and I also love the website All Recipes, and there's some others that do this too, because what you can do is you can put in, and I'll try and show you here, you can put in recipe or ingredients. So I just put in green beans and tofu. We have those, they need to be used. And then it'll pop back a bunch of recipes that have green beans and tofu in them. So I could choose one of those recipes and use up our green beans and tofu that way. Another website that I love for recipes is The Kitchen without an E, thekitchen.com. They have awesome recipes. So I'm going to go ahead and get started pulling from my inventory, noting what we're going to make here, and then I pull, and then whatever we need added, I put on the grocery list. So we'll get going with that. And I do want to note that I often start with breakfast and lunches because they tend to be a little bit easier, especially the breakfast. Another thing I do want to note is snacks. But I don't plan the snacks in here. We just tend to keep healthier snacks on hand. So I make sure that we keep a lot. It tends to be a lot of fruit, a lot of yogurt or cheese, and sometimes some, Triscuits or wheat thins mixed in there. So I just make sure to keep a lot of those on hand. We've covered all of those. So it took about 40 to 45 minutes to do that. So it seems like a long time, but you will get those 40 to 45 minutes back, definitely, and then some. Because now I might go back through. As you can see, there's some scratching out, and there's some, scribbly, and it's a little messy. So we've got everything for the next 2 weeks. And like I said, I don't have the snacks, but they're all planned out: breakfast, lunch, dinner. As I went through, I noted what we needed. So here's my grocery list. So, and I actually need to create a handout for this. So I separated it into produce. So as you can see, a lot of produce. Dry, so that's like canned, crackers, things like that. Dairy, so cheese and whatnot, and then cold. So that should make the shopping trip go really quickly. And then we'll just put this into action. So yes, it takes a little bit of time planning, but it is well worth it. And this lowers stress levels around meals and makes things much easier. So next we're gonna head to the grocery store, and then I'll be back once I've got my grocery haul for the 2 weeks, and we'll see what we end up spending. I'm going to be shopping at Aldi because they have great options, great produce, great prices. So we'll see you after the shopping trip. All right, I am back from the grocery store, and it took a while, and I went to Aldi. So I'm gonna give you an idea of all the items that I bought, and keep in mind, this is a 2-week shop for 7 people. So my helpers helped unload all of this, and I'll be honest, I was tired when I got back because you have to bag everything there. He couldn't fit it in one cart, so then I had to wrangle it and get it into one cart. So anyway, all right. So we've kind of organized it by section. So we've got treats over here. We've got grains and crackers and cereals and breads over here. Eggs. We've got fruits, produce. Yes, fruits and veggies. So you see that really is the majority. That's a large portion of it. A little bit of meat. We don't do a whole lot, but there's a little bit there. Some nuts and dried fruit, canned goods, and dairy. We do a lot of dairy. They love it, and it keeps them full. So now what I would like to do is kind of slowly walk through the products, and then we'll look at I don't know if we have the receipt, but off the top of my head, I believe the final total was $389. So that's 2 weeks for 7 people. So it sounds like a lot, but that's actually pretty good. So that's less than $200 a week for 7 people. So I'll take it. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so this is the treat section. I guess we'll start first with the treats. I love this new wine spritzer that they have. It's bubbly rosé. And I guess I got all 3 rosés. They also have just a bubbly white wine. So those are great. They have these awesome butter cookies with dark chocolate. So that's obviously a treat. These I've never tried. What do you think, Noah? This is a Belgian semi-sweet chocolate chunk. So if you kids want to make cookies.
Is it super dark though? I don't like
No, it's not super dark. That one's semi-sweet. That is obviously a treat. We've got some gummy bears and the Cheez-Its back there. Their fig bars are great. And we got a couple of those.
Cookies.
And these are kind of like the Girl Scout cookies, which as a Girl Scout troop leader, I don't know how I feel about that. But they are popular. So I tend to hide some of the cookies and slowly take them out because if I left this out in our cabinet where they could all get it, it would be gone in a couple days. So I usually hide it and then
like
pull
one
them
day.
out every few days. This is a dark sea salt chocolate, and one thing even as a dietitian, I don't know the stats on every food. I just discovered recently that this is 1 bar, so it's five little bars. So I believe it's chunked into 5 bars. 140 calories, so not bad for a treat. But 10 milligram or 10% of your iron for the day. So that's another good reason why dark chocolate is good. At least you're getting some nutrition. Okay, so got some pretzels. So also just a quick treat, not filling, but every once in a while a little salty is fine. Brown sugar, and I think there's.
I like to sometimes dip it in the.
Oh yes, so Noah's saying he likes to dip it in the peanut butter.
Yes,
I haven't tried. This is their Aldi's natural peanut butter, so we'll see how that is. It was very reasonable, less than $2 for that. Okay, so let's move over here. So we've got some old-fashioned oats. We're gonna make some overnight oats this week, so we'll look for that video soon. We've got their version of Triscuits.
Yeah.
We've got some sea salt pita crackers.
Ooh, I
We've
love
got
those
Chex. So, and then these are all their Cheerios, their version of Cheerios. We got
graham crackers.
Yeah, we've got graham crackers. We've got some saltines. There's a nice dessert that you can make with saltines and do you?
Yeah.
And dark chocolate. Egg noodles. There's a recipe that I needed that for. Some rotini. So just a little bit of plain pasta and then some whole wheat spaghetti. And then, so you see, we do a decent amount of breads, but most of these, there's a couple that aren't, but most are whole wheat. So, we do the whole wheat sandwich thins, got a bunch of loaves of their just regular whole wheat bread. These aren't whole wheat, these are bagel skinnies, which I like the skinnies because a lot of times the regular bagels, they don't finish. So, but these have 4 grams of fiber and only 110 calories a pop. So that would be a good one to put an egg on, make a quick little egg sandwich. So, like I said, that's a new one that I haven't seen, but it looked great. Then we did some whole wheat tortillas, some corn tortillas, and a bunch of whole wheat pitas. We've been making some great, thanks buddy, some great meals with like Mediterranean type salads, and the pitas are great for that. I haven't tried these, but it's like a flatbread wrap type thing that's whole wheat, high in fiber. And I'll do a video on why whole grains, why dietitians are always saying do whole grains. So a couple things of raisins, so I guess that should have been over by our dried fruit. Stick it over by our dried fruit. Eggs. So we've got some eggs in there.
Raisins.
Yeah. You're going to grab the other one?
Yeah.
All right.
Got it.
Noah's helping sort. Oh, and then so this is, like I said, I do mostly whole wheat, but then I do some, white breads. So they have these awesome brioche rolls. They have brioche bread. So if I'm going to do a white bread, I'm going to do some, do something nice. Okay, now let's get into our produce. And it is mid-June. The produce is amazing. So this is my favorite time of year because you can get so much produce and it's fresh, it's all in season, and it's great prices. So we did, this is about 4 things of bananas. We've got, here, Eleanor, you can come around here. We've got carrots. Now there are a couple, Patrick's gonna take some things of baby carrots to work, but when we're cooking, we prefer these carrots. When we're cooking, we prefer the whole carrots. And it's a great way for somebody like Noah or Elliot to help out in the kitchen because they, we teach them how to safely peel so they're not slicing their fingers. And I find that the regular carrots taste better than the baby carrots. And they're great, then you can dice them up and put them in, or just slice, peel them and cut them up and have them as a snack. And these are cheaper than the baby carrots. But Patrick likes to bring these to work, so that works too. All right, so then we've got sweet potatoes, a couple different types of peppers. I don't know where I lost some of our apples. So we did the big bell peppers because that's gonna go in a recipe, but then I got the little ones, and these are sweet peppers. These are awesome for snacks. They don't have many seeds, so you just kind of bite the top and leave the stem. Then we got a bunch of tomatoes. We do kind of a mixture of ones that we can slice, and then ones that the kids often just snack on. We're actually gonna make a little quick caprese snack with those. Some spinach that goes in a recipe. Nectarines were in season. Oranges, we're gonna use some of those in a recipe. A bunch of grapes, which we're going to freeze. Yeah, so we've got some green grapes. And no, these are cherries. Okay, green grapes and red grapes. So a couple different options. Avocados, they limited the avocados to 6, so I got 6, they were 80-some cents, so those are great. We got some just plain old cucumbers, and I'm going to show you in a couple days, do a video on a cool little hack with the cucumbers. Cherries were in season, and I absolutely love cherries. Noah loves to use our cherry pitter. Let's see, is it right in here? It is. Lucky. This is a cherry pitter. So he sat there the other day and pitted an entire bag, and then you have to eat it pretty quickly, but that was no problem. So they ate that during the day. All right, so apple, a couple bags of apples. I like to get a mixture, so like things like oranges, apples, these mandarins, lemons and limes. Those keep, and carrots, so those keep for a while. So I might put those in the back for the second week, because remember, we're trying to get this to stretch through a couple weeks. So the bananas are going to need to be eaten in the first week. The berries absolutely in the first week. But the other things, the peppers could go maybe a little longer, and like I said, the apples and oranges and whatnot can go in the back, and then I'll pull them to the front as we get into the second week. Oh yeah, we got some kiwi. So snacks and lunches and breakfast involve a lot of fruits and veggies. We got a little bit of corn for one meal, some mushrooms. There were a couple of things. I want to try and make an eggplant mushroom ragu, and they didn't have eggplant. So I will end up going to another store and probably grabbing like just a couple things, maybe 3-4 items. We got some snow peas, again for a recipe. We also have some peas. Oh, Alexa, stop. In a recipe and also for snacks. Now lemons and limes, I always buy several lemons and limes. We can put them in our water. We can have them with a drink. We can make, oh, the puppy's afraid of the storm. Haiku, you're all right. Also, like cooking with fish, it's always good to have lemons, and homemade dressings I always keep them on hand for making a quick homemade vinaigrette, and they're great. Okay, and then cilantro, that's gonna go in when we do Taco Tuesday. And then I think that covers the produce pretty much. Okay, so next let's move over to the meat. So as you see, it's not a huge portion of our big haul here. So their salmon is I think it was like $7.50, $7.99 a pound. So we got a nice serving of salmon, which the kids absolutely love. I haven't bought beef in a while, I'll be honest, but I saw an awesome recipe for a salad with some pan-fried sirloin, and I thought that looked awesome. And that was a great looking piece of sirloin. And then we've got a little bit of lunch meat. This is, I hadn't seen this, but they have this Never Any. So it's no antibiotics, no hormones, vegetarian. Well, the chicken was vegetarian diet, and then no nitrates or nitrites. Turkey, which we gotta get that put away soon. So some ground lean turkey, some lean turkey bacon, because we'll do a lunch or two, probably one lunch with BLTs. So the kids love those. This is, these are not healthy, but these are pork sausages. So, that's an easy way to get in a little bit more protein. And yes, they're high in fat, they're high in salt, but we don't have to be perfect with everything. We've got a little bit of frozen fruit. You could either put that in smoothies, or we're gonna do some yogurt pops and put a little bit of frozen fruit into the yogurt pops. Aldi has awesome nuts and dried fruit. So we've got some sunflower kernels. We've got some pepitas, which is the pumpkin seeds, the middle of the pumpkin seeds. These are both great on top of, you can put some on oatmeal, you can put some on your salad. So those are great. Pumpkin seeds, almonds, pistachios for snacking. There's our dried fruit, and a little bit of peanuts. And then we'll get into our canned goods. I had a decent amount of canned goods on hand, so I didn't go nuts with those. These chipotles and adobo are amazing, and there's a lot of kind of, Mexican kind of dishes that have those, and they are smoky. They are a little spicy, but you can kind of, control how much you put in, and they're delicious. A little bit of tomato paste, some kind of basic. Oh, they had these Muir Glen diced tomatoes, and they were a great price. I think it was like $1.40. Some artichoke hearts, so if we do kind of a little charcuterie, we can put those on the side. They're marinated. A little bit of apricot preserve, so I was thinking if we did, the charcuterie, we could put that with some crackers and cheese and whatnot. They have the Frontera salsa, so that's great. All right, Noah balsamic vinegar, so awesome for veggies with olive oil, balsamic vinegar, and a little salt and pepper. Works wonders. Grill them, bake them. Noah loves, we call it the yogurt milk. Kefir is actually what it is. So it's cultured milk. It's kind of like drinkable yogurt, and it's high in probiotics, and they love those. Oh, and I'm just realizing we got one little thing of toilet paper, just to have so we don't run out. Okay, and then and some Parmesan Romano. And then, as I said, we do a good amount of dairy. These are just obviously skim milk. We do a lot of yogurt. I do these big ones because then we don't have 50,000 little containers, because you figure one meal, 5 kids eating a yogurt, that's 5 containers. So we do the bigger ones. And this is their organic. So they don't love the Greek, so I tend to do more of the just regular organic one. And some cottage cheese. I did a mix, 1 full fat, 1 low fat. And then the yogurt, they love yogurt and Cheerios as a snack, and it's a great.
It just started raining. Literally.
It did. It's storming out.
It just poured already.
And then we've got some ricotta cheese for a recipe. We've got a little shredded Parmesan. I think that went in something, or for pasta. some sour cream, cream cheese, and then some of their, just chunks of cheese. I sometimes do like a whole wheat pasta salad with this and the tomatoes and some peas or whatever, and that's a quick, easy meal. And then this awesome dill Havarti is great. Some butter for cooking, some sliced provolone, a little bit of mozzarella. This could also go in like a quick caprese, and some feta that goes in another dish. So I think that about covers it. So this just gives you an idea, you grew taller, of what we buy in 2 weeks. And there are a couple things missing. So like I said, I couldn't get eggplant. I couldn't get a Napa cabbage. They had regular cabbage. I couldn't get Napa, which I am going to use in a recipe. And I obviously you don't see like paper towels. I tend to buy those, at some of the bigger stores or online. I forgot what else I was going to say. Yeah, so obviously like some of those things, like laundry stuff, I'll buy those, do a big run at Costco and buy those. And then the rice and, when I did my inventory, we already had those on hand. So, but this saves money by doing this in bulk. It takes a good amount of time on the day that we do it, but then we're not having to run to the store. And by not running to the store all the time, we're not making many impulse buys. So we say, nope, we can't go to the store yet. You have to make whatever work. So that's my 2-week planning, inventory, planning, and grocery haul. And thank you for watching. Let me know if you learned anything helpful in this video, and if there's any, if you want me to do more shopping videos, or what you're looking for. So thank you for watching At Home with the Dietitian. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so that you get notified when I post new videos. Thank you for watching.